The revolutionary power of adversity, how Black women are reshaping American entrepreneurship. Good morning, everyone. I stand before you today with a heart full of gratitude and a mind transformed by the insights of Dr. Amy Clark, a visionary researcher whose work isn't just changing how we understand entrepreneurship, it's fundamentally reshaping how we perceive the relationship between adversity and innovation in America. Dr. Clark has spent the last decade immersed in the stories, strategies, and stunning successes of Black women entrepreneurs, documenting patterns that challenge everything we thought we knew about resilience and transformation. Her groundbreaking research doesn't just add to our knowledge, it completely disrupts it. And what she shared with me has forever altered my understanding of how true innovation emerges. We've all been taught a comforting lie about success. The lie goes something like this: adversity is an obstacle to overcome, a burden to bear, a weight that holds us back from achieving our true potential. This seems intuitive, doesn't it? After all, who would choose hardship over ease? Who would select struggle over simplicity? Who would prefer barriers over open roads? But what if this fundamental assumption, this deeply ingrained belief, is profoundly, dangerously wrong? What if, in certain contexts, adversity isn't just something to overcome, but actually becomes the catalyst, the very fuel for extraordinary innovation and leadership? This is the counterintuitive, even revolutionary truth that Dr. Clark's research has uncovered about Black women entrepreneurs in America today. Despite facing what conventional wisdom would describe as insurmountable barriers, systemic racism, gender bias, limited access to capital, and cultural stereotypes, Black women aren't just participating in entrepreneurship. They are actively, powerfully, and fundamentally reshaping it. The statistics alone should stop us in our tracks. By 2024, nearly half of all new businesses in America were started by women. And among Black owned businesses specifically, women were more likely than men to be founders. This transformation isn't happening despite the well documented challenges Black women face in the workforce, including recent significant job losses and setbacks from anti DEI policies. It's happening in part because of them. Let that sink in for a moment. The very obstacles meant to exclude have become the crucible for unprecedented innovation. This challenges everything we think we know about success and opportunity. It inverts our understanding of how innovation emerges, and it offers profound lessons for all of us about the relationship between constraints and creativity. Let me be absolutely clear. I am not romanticizing hardship or suggesting that systemic barriers are somehow beneficial. The obstacles facing Black women entrepreneurs are real, unjust, and must be dismantled. What I am suggesting is that the response to these barriers, the resilience, creativity, and community building that emerges, contains wisdom we all desperately need to understand. Consider Hannah Diop, founder of Sienna Naturals. Hannah's journey didn't begin with privileged access to capital or industry connections. It began with a deeply personal frustration. She simply couldn't find healthy products for her textured hair. This gap in the market wasn't just an inconvenience, it reflected deeper issues of exclusion in the beauty industry. Conventional wisdom would have told Hannah to accept this reality, to make do, to compromise. Instead, she saw an opportunity to create something radically new. The path wasn't easy. Investors questioned the market size for products focused on textured hair. Is this really a viable business? They asked, revealing their limited understanding of the diverse beauty needs in America. Access to capital, a challenge for all entrepreneurs, but particularly acute for Black women, presented significant hurdles. Hannah faced rejection after rejection, door after door closing before she could even fully present her vision. But here's where the magic happens. Here's where adversity becomes alchemy. Hannah didn't follow conventional wisdom. She leveraged community engagement through social media campaigns that highlighted natural hair empowerment. She recognized that her personal struggle was shared by millions of other women. She formed a strategic partnership with actress Issa Rae, amplifying visibility through shared storytelling around self acceptance. Together, they built Sienna Naturals into a nationally recognized brand with shelf space at major retailers, a rare feat for independent brands led by Black women. What's remarkable about Hannah's story isn't just personal success. Her work helped normalize investment in niche markets led by underrepresented founders, showcasing how authentic leadership drives both profit and representation. The adversity she faced didn't diminish her impact, it shaped her approach in ways that ultimately expanded her influence. Or consider Jewel Berg Solomon, founder of Part Pick. Jewel developed visual search technology, allowing users to identify industrial parts using smartphone photos. Technology so innovative that it was eventually acquired by Amazon and now powers parts identification within their platform. But Jewel's path was far from smooth. As one of few young Black female leaders in deep tech startups, she faced isolation. Investors doubted her technical background despite her credentials. Are you sure you understand the technology? They would ask, questions rarely directed at her white male counterparts. Instead of being defeated by this skepticism, Jewel adapted. She built credibility through customer pilots, demonstrating product market fit before seeking investment. She sought out mentorship networks focused on minority entrepreneurs. She became the first African American woman led startup acquired by Amazon, was named to Forbes 30 Under 30, and later became head of Google Startups US. Again, what's remarkable isn't just personal success. Jules' journey paved the way for more diverse participation within Atlanta's burgeoning tech scene, demonstrating what's possible when overlooked innovators receive support. The barriers she faced didn't limit her vision. They informed strategies that ultimately expanded her impact. And then there's Morgan DeBon, founder of Blavity Inc. Morgan recognized the lack of representation in Silicon Valley and channeled that frustration into creating spaces where diverse voices could lead and narrate their own stories. She faced skepticism about monetizing culturally specific content amid competition from mainstream media giants, along with difficulties accessing venture capital reserved mostly for white male led startups. Rather than accepting these limitations, Morgan bootstrapped early operations while building community trust online. She emphasized authentic storytelling around identity driven entrepreneurship. Today, Blavity has raised millions from top tier VCs, including GV, formerly Google Ventures, and expanded into multiple media verticals, reaching millions monthly. Morgan's work normalized VC investment into culture first startups, founded, led, and staffed primarily by people of color, setting a precedent inspiring the next generation of creators and leaders. The constraints she navigated didn't diminish her vision. They clarified the importance of creating new models rather than fitting into existing ones. What Dr. Clark's research reveals through these stories and countless others is a profound pattern. Black women entrepreneurs aren't succeeding despite adversity. They're developing approaches to business that are innovative precisely because they've had to navigate complex barriers. This pattern challenges three fundamental assumptions about success and innovation. First, it challenges the assumption that opportunity must be equally distributed for innovation to flourish. While we should absolutely work toward more equitable systems, the reality is that innovation often emerges from the margins, not the center. Those navigating complex barriers develop perspectives and approaches that those with easier paths might never discover. Second, it challenges the assumption that individual genius drives transformation. The entrepreneurs in Dr. Clark's research consistently emphasize community building, collective empowerment, and creating pathways for others. Their success isn't measured solely by personal achievement, but by how many others they bring along. Third, it challenges the assumption that constraints limit creativity. In fact, constraints often focus creativity in powerful ways. When conventional paths are blocked, new paths must be forged. When traditional resources are unavailable, innovative approaches to resource gathering emerge. These insights matter for all of us, regardless of our background or industry. They suggest that the very challenges we often wish to avoid might contain the seeds of our most meaningful contributions. Think about it. How often do we seek the path of least resistance? How frequently do we view obstacles as purely negative? How commonly do we assume that success comes from having more options, more resources, more freedom? What if instead we recognize that our unique challenges might be precisely what enable us to see possibilities others miss? What if we understood that the communities we build in response to barriers might become our greatest source of resilience and innovation? What if we realized that the constraints we face might focus our creativity in ways that ultimately expand our impact? This isn't about glorifying struggle. It's about recognizing that adversity, when approached with resilience and community, can become a powerful catalyst for transformation. Not just personal transformation, but systemic change that creates new possibilities for others. So I challenge you today, look at your obstacles differently. See them not just as barriers, but as potential bridges to innovation. Ask yourself what unique perspective your challenges have given you. What solutions might you create that others can't even imagine because they haven't walked your path? I challenge you to build community around shared challenges rather than facing them alone. The most powerful innovations rarely come from isolated genius, but from collective wisdom forged in common struggle. I challenge you to embrace your constraints rather than simply wishing them away. Ask how they might focus your creativity in unexpected directions. And most importantly, I challenge you to recognize that your most difficult experiences may contain the seeds of your most significant contributions to our world. The revolutionary power of adversity isn't that it makes success easier, it doesn't. The revolutionary power is that it can transform how we define success itself, shifting our focus from individual achievement to collective empowerment, from profit alone to purpose and profit, from isolated innovation to community centered transformation. As Dr. Clark's research so powerfully demonstrates through the stories of Hannah, Jewel, Morgan, and countless others, the path to transformative impact often runs directly through our greatest challenges, not around them, not despite them, but through them. This is the wisdom that Black women entrepreneurs offer to all of us. A wisdom born of necessity, but available to anyone with the courage to see adversity, not just as something to overcome, but as something that can fundamentally reshape who we become and what we create. Thank you.